Hello. So just checking if let's turn the sound down for this one as it plays in the background. I don't think that's any sound. No? Cool. All right. Anyway, so let's go. So um, I don't know about the uploading, but this is the last animation commentary I've recorded. Yeah, even after the ranking. And so yeah, this one will consist of two like mini university group projects, and then a little passion project which I've done. Yeah, too small to make it the same video, but I just thought, yeah, let's just put all of these together. And both group projects, because they weren't, they were minorly part of a bigger brief, but yeah, these animations were just extremely small in scale compared to um, the other animations I talked about with their own films in that. But yeah, anyway, so this one, I forgot the name of the film already. Yeah, this one I can't really. I think because of how small the scale and like this project was, because in my university, we did have to write a lot of things and showcase evidence and upload films to a particular website, and this was just simply one part of a chapter, to um was it to oh, I think this was like a brief for another company. Another company were like, oh, you just make this animation based on this poem, and that's where we just did that. And so yeah, anyway, I haven't seen this in ages. I've only seen this like a couple of times, and I'm already having fun enjoying watching it. Um, but yeah, you kind of get the gist here. We were told a poem, and not told a poem. We were shown a poem, and then we were discussing, how to create visuals out of those poems. And once again, I didn't see what the others did, but we did. Me and the group, we all had. Oh, is this the oh my gosh, that this group project was actually kind of tense because there were just moments where um um yeah, we just have to have like constant meetings, and to make sure the visuals are there and that we're all doing the correct bits and bobs. And yeah, and even if this one came about smoothly, because I don't know, did this one have like a bit of a sooner due date, because those who sent the brief, they wanted to see it ahead of time despite the due date of the whole thing not being too much later. I think that's what might have happened. um but yeah, and oh, that reminds me, some of the assets I've attempted to try and create for this animation, I think it's on my Instagram. I think it is. I just remember finding the assets. Yeah, kind of cool. Just thought to share. Um, but yeah, um, other things might come up as I come along. But anyway, let's just go for a breakdown. I remember some because it was me and about 4 or 5 others. You can see that all of us did little things for a much bigger whole, and as in WHOLE, that whole. um, but yeah, so oh yeah, by the way, because I couldn't really download it, I've used one of those screen recorder apps, so that's why I can see the phone there. But never mind. So it's just play it first, and yeah, like I said, I'll then play it with the audio, yeah, for once. Yeah, because it would be nice to get more of a clear meaning and probably break down and try and connect it. But yeah, anyway, so this looks like very good texturing. Yeah, look at that. And then yeah, that opens, and it's like a 3D asset in the void. But I like moments like that, because I remember oh, what was the oh gosh, there's a school DVD I had once, and that too just had like a colourful box that was opening, and in the void, and there's just something extremely mesmerising about it. And so to have like this mystery and this matchbox come along, I just remember thinking, oh yeah, that actually looks like rather cool. So yeah, rather good starting point. So Match comes about and lights him. So whilst the fire isn't animated, you can still infer that it's a more of a solid fire character, and from the eyes, yeah, there's some kind of like personality already. And Yeah, because I think what I also like about this film is that it's like the characters are simpler, but all the other assets and settings, they're far more complex in their approach. So yeah, it just helps their characters stand out a bit. And yeah, I really like the mixture. But anyway, so that's the match. You can see some smoke being animated, and I think that smoke, yeah, it's come from the ground, and I think it's just to make the whole atmosphere feel warm. But yeah, yeah, because I know you suggested smoke coming out of the match itself, but I think that would have required more of a specific spot somewhere. But never mind. So let's see what happens next. That's the lighthouse. And one that was kind of, yeah, that actually looks rather neat. Yeah, look at the way it's textured. Because this is like a proper mix between 2D and 3D somewhat. And I feel like this lighthouse is one example. Yeah, it does look 3D and nicely textured. And this could be, what would create that effect? Maybe oh, I don't know. A light wouldn't have gone in front of the asset because it would have glowed the lighthouse as well. Unless how did they do that? I think one of the students in the group, because some of our students, were VFX instead of animation students, but we did do some of the same briefs, and therefore we did get put into groups. And but yeah, as a VFX student, yeah, I think that was her who did that. So was that a light responding to that specific surface? Did the light come inside the thing? I nearly thought of it as a VR thing, when you like curl the asset and create a animated sequence that way, which could still be possible, but that actually looks rather good. Even the sky is, what does the sky look like? That looks nice, yeah, just nicely watercoloured. I think one wrong role I thought I vaguely remember doing is, did someone create the basics? Did I create the settings and then someone else like add to them to add to the water colouring and oh gosh, or something like that. But yeah, also the water is 3D as well. That's a rather nice water. Even right here, it looks a bit like metallic, but I still really like its animated water. And yeah, this horizon is a bit too close, but never mind. The whole animation is half abstract in some way. Yeah, I really like the design of these boats as well, because in having a look, yeah, there's some cloth simulation I can see. Yeah, we'll talk about this part. So it's introducing the setting. Oh yeah, so if looking at the sequence itself, so it's just introducing fire, just a bit of a starting point, and then we see what the setting is going to be, and then you just have this flame hopping from one thing to the next, and yeah, you do see these other characters who are like singular grey balls, and I'm yet to see the film in full to see what it's like, but it looks like the fire is just like interacting with these individuals as they're coming by. And for a second I thought the one with the flag was like the leading ship, but no, some have sails and some don't, which I like the variation. They could still work as their own boats. Yeah, I really like the look of them, and even you'll see what more the characters are like. But also, yeah, this is probably VFX work a bit as well. Like this water, like even if I think it looks a tad too metallic, it's still nicely and wavy, and the way the sun's on it, it just looks really warm. Oh, so it's daytime, I think, and I think this platform, the wooden platform, I think the might be a 3D asset, and this is lighthouse as well, and yeah, these boats are most likely 3D in the characters as well. And was it a green screen that was then, the green screen was cut off, then we moved the assets using After Effects, something like that. That's actually like really cool. So despite being a group project, this is some of the best 3D and 2D mixing, like even better than my singular attempts, because I can only think of, I'm not going to count the flip flop because that was one blatant 3D asset and then an asset that was just simply drawn on top of. But but those moments in the RSA where people are like, oh, really like your mixture of 2D and 3D, but you can still decipher what's what almost. Oh, I don't know, but it's just the long scene. People loved it because it did look like a strange alternative texture, of 2D and 3D. But that's what's happening here, but on a much more professional scale and look. Yeah, I think that Lighthouse is probably still 3D, and yeah, that's just implemented and put together so well. I have put this high on my animation, but maybe I should have put it higher. Um, yeah, I think. Oh, but I think I ranked the animations based on my input, and my input was still rather small. I only did. I don't know. Um, we'll just go through and see what else the others have made. So yeah. But anyway, so yeah, you can see all of them arriving, and yeah, despite the flame hopping from one boat to the next, he's still come on for the ride, so they know they're friendly. So yeah, everyone's on the same side essentially. Although I think I've worked out one of the metaphors of this film. So despite being a singular lengthy kind of animation, I think it's like the flame guiding these individuals, through this land, and it's just exploring different ways of doing that. Like the lighthouse is almost like a metaphorical hint as starting point, and maybe the fire thing could have been an extension of the lighthouse in some way, but it came from a matchbox. So yeah, I'm not in touch with any of my uni people, so yeah, it's not like they're gonna come along and give additional context. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Yeah, all of us have gone our separate ways. Anyway, so yeah, they've come about, and yeah, I've just been spotting that. So just a tiny error I can see. So the walking flame has gone back and forward in a way which is a tad off. There's like a keyframe should have been cut somewhere, but never mind. That's only like one error when everything else is rather top notch. So everyone's arrived, and then so I've been seeing this as well. So oh yeah, there was a bit of a glitch then, but never mind. I think that sometimes happens when there's a sudden keyframe shift, or if it's going from a animated thing, or like two different animated assets, and if the positioning's not in line, then it can create a bit of a stutter, or just like a bit of a glitch. Yeah, like that. And you can see the individuals circling around, and he's just yeah, keeping the fire warm for you. And yeah, and I don't think the legs are glowing up, but there is definitely some kind of light source underneath there, and I think he's just making this warm for everyone. I don't know much about the wood. I think the background's probably painted again, and I think these wooden blocks are probably 3D assets, but even if turning the brightness up, I can't quite see the texture, but I can still see how solid they are, so they are believable. I really like the rocks as well, even if they're made up of the same. Are they the same shape? I'm not sure actually, but I really like it. With the way they are reflective. So yeah, the lighting of the whole film's consistent. You can see the shadows and the detail. Yeah, it looks rather cool. And then yeah, and I think the assets. I think that's a hint of happiness, being yeah, warming up for you. And then, he's falling there asleep, and then so I think he's used off of his heat energy, and these assets are hey, firewood for you. And just to be slightly honest, you can see there's no arms, and they're kind of staring into space. And I think it would have been better if the eyes moved a bit, so follow along with the logs. But I think if looking at it from a abstract, low budget way, then you can still see that it's the residents putting these logs. No, maybe they're just having a hard stare so they can use their telekinesis. I think that's the best theory I could come up with. But yeah, I like the way the logs are animated, and the way they're added onto the fire. It's not done in a clunky way, and with the setting being, I can actually see them being placed on top of. Oh wow, that's actually rather good. So you can see how it's all lit up. So yeah, that's definitely a visual metaphor for for logs being added, therefore it glows up and making the fire character more awake again. Now looking at this, so I remember animating these lots specifically. yeah, because I remember, yeah, so they just gave me a couple of scenes to animate, and I remember this one being the case, and yeah, because it's not the best. Oh, by the way, so I think that zooming in shot is just to indicate the top of the hill, but regardless, yeah, the character's just like looking around, and yeah, just moved about a bit as the others were moving forward, and you can see the eyes move up to indicate um, you know, that like, that's where they're going. And then I like the look of these stands. I think that looks kind of cool. But also, I just suddenly realised, oh, I so these grey blobs, they glow too. Of course they do. Yeah, why have I forgot about that? I feel like I should have rewatched this before. Oh, but no, like I said, it's about my input, which I was ranking in the animation thing. Maybe the yeah, but I tell you what, maybe this is like the best animation in my ranking. But like I said, I just wanted to rank it based on my input in the ranking video. So yeah, it's not so I wouldn't say anything's been retconned, but I can't really put this on top because of everyone else doing a really good job. Because yeah, I think the others just led to the whole thing quite well. But yeah, so this flame, so you just hop from one thing to the next, and then as they get higher, or the whole area gets hotter, just like wander around, and the fire carries down, and I'm like, hey, we're all warm now. So yeah, that is the whole of the techniques and the premise. Oh yeah, let's listen to this with audio and see how it gets broken down. I think we'll start right there. So that's already like quite a nice start, and it has helped me understand like a bit of the narrative more. And what I also kind of like as well is that not every, because when you're given a transcript and then you're like, okay, make visuals out of that, because I remember thinking, oh, do I have to like visualize every single line? But that's where they're like, well, no, like of course you need like scenes to connect the dots, but I guess when it comes to the more significant lines, that's where you would have to make the more significant visuals. But yeah, so if just like as far as I can remember, so yeah, I think it is just about being an individual, guiding others, making others. I can't say make one as special as you because that sounds a bit narcissistic, but this is just like a helpful individual that's trying to help guide others as we say, and yeah, guiding the way using lighthouse and or seeing this flame already being like a guide himself. Um, so yeah, and also I just suddenly realised, why is he so transparent then? Because he isn't in the other parts, but never mind. Anyway, it's just go on to this scene. Um, but yes, so we pretty much got more of the gist of the theme, and yeah, and yeah, you can see how the visuals and the narration, goes along, quite nicely. I don't know who wrote the poem. Was it someone else who then contacted the company who then gave the brief? I don't know, but I think this is probably like a way of explaining that, or the poem trying to explain that, with the help of others, you can continue um, continue progress or continue burning or etc. And then in that way you can further guide others and then they become better. I think that's the impression I've got, yeah, you can always loop back and the poem yourself and then come to your own conclusion, because I'm not like the biggest poem fan, but when it comes to creating metaphorical pieces of art, you do have to well, if it's well made and well written first, then it can come up with all sorts of conclusions. And I think I've explained a couple of bits and bobs. Yeah, it's just like guiding the way kind of thing. Guiding the way, leading the way. You can see either way, but yeah, even the way the animation demonstrates it, yeah, it's quite endearing. And but yeah, I just can't believe how well done this is. There's only like a couple of things I would have personally improved upon, but other than that, yeah, it's like rather top notch. The artwork is rather good, and the assets maybe, well, the 3D assets, the characters may be like straightforward, but they're still rather nice and endearing. And even the transition later on is that looks like more like an effect rather than, because I know my colleague at the time, she could have like transitioned as if you have like the grey lot moving and then the lit up ones go along. I really don't know, but I think that's sometimes like the beauty of animation, where you like trying to work out how it's done, but sometimes really you can't quite put your finger on it. That's where you're like, oh, okay, so yeah, well, and you just mesmerized by it, because when you look at landmarks and that, you don't know exactly how it's made, but you're still like, wow, that looks like rather cool, and I can only think of a couple of conclusions of how we got there. So yeah, what I like the arrival scene probably the best, but I don't know, like this like rather good as well. And although this is, I personally did a green screen thing, especially here, but is that 3D asset then placed onto the 2D setting? I think so as well. I'm just trying to come up with other bits and bobs. But yeah, absolutely top notch. Yeah, I do congratulate the others in my group as well. And yeah, it's yeah, I just really blown away by how well done this is. So yeah, let's stop right there before we get too emotional. But yeah, regardless, yeah, let's go on to the next animation. Okay, so you saw the warning, and the warning will come up once again with this next part is a tad graphic, not majorly, but it's just enough to give you a heads up. So if you're I don't know the word, but if you're not a fan of gore, then I don't recommend this one. And yeah, it does have like a bit of a dark twist in it. But we'll get playing with the animation, and then and I'm gonna let it loop and play on as I'm talking about the brief. So unlike the last one, where it was part of a bigger thing, this one, however, was actually, I'm just going I forgot about these parts. I'm just going to quickly plug my laptop, but just have a quick watch while you're at it. Alright, so anyway, yep, there you go, here's the warning. So yeah, unlike the last film where it was like a tiny animation as part of a far more written, or yeah, because it wasn't an essay, it's just a whole bits and bobs and evidence which we needed to showcase in that. And but the thing, this one, I think it was just simply like a bit of fun, where they're like, oh, it's new year, you lot are year 3 now, including me, and you can work with the those with the lower years, and just have a go at all working together. And then just find that moment so funny. Anyway, I'll just try to continue without laughing. So yeah, so we because we've done a whole heap of fun lesson bits and bobs, which I think I have showcased using I have showcased them time to time on my YouTube channel, especially like the VR experiments. But in here, like, it wasn't graded, it wasn't like connected to any other brief, but it was still a somewhat important task to complete, to work together. And I think it was just so much just to get us going. So it's not a project that was like super serious, but we at least needed to try. But once again, I don't know what the others did. Maybe the brief was to go for a. Did we have to come up with an idea completely from scratch, or was it working from the title? Because this whole Wizard of Oz stuff we came up with ourselves. Oh yeah, so it's putting Wizard of Oz and Frankenstein together. So were we told to make like a more of a horror one? I don't know actually. But just spot a bit of an Easter egg. Although I tell you what, looking back, maybe this was part of a brief. Another once again written evidence showing. It's like one of those promotional ones, and also just evidence of working with another animator or something. I'm really like losing the plot. I just saw something which made me remind me of it. I'll show you now actually before I forget. So if you can see the left, there's like some creative designs. That's probably our concept art which he decided to reuse, and yeah, that's actually rather cool. But anyway, so we'll just watch the film itself. Yeah, there you go. Got the warning, and yeah, someone else came up with the title. All the way flickered. How cool! I remember my parts. That's for sure. And maybe I did the title. Who did the title and the text? That might have been me. I'm not sure. But this was me and 3 others. 2 of them who were probably just the year below instead of using all 3 years. I might be wrong, but still. But anyway, so yeah, in Oz, and we just reached the end of that story. So yeah, all of this is mine, and you can see how these characters are made with parts all parented, and there's some texture you can see, rough, metallic, and furry almost. The main's not great, but never mind. And there's a couple of just a couple of rough edges, so you can tell it's not drawn very well. And yeah, even Dorothy's missing her nose, and also the leg should be behind the dress instead of above, because that wasn't exactly revolutionary. I don't know what she was doing with her arms as well, but the way she disappears, yeah, fair enough. And is that how I did my face? That's a looping clappy face. That is. No, that should have gone back and forward. Oh gosh, it reminds me of the Hootus. With the lazy looping. I like the palace though. Some texture, like green bricks. It's photoshopped with the, with like your own custom brush, and yeah, because it did well with some animations like the rear one, and I guess it looked kind of nice here, but it just looks a bit rushed in that. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of moved on to the whole 8-bit stuff instead of 2D drawing, and I think I might go back to 2D drawing like one day if I'm like curious to see how some 8-bit assets compare. I think that's the only reason I can think of, because it's just not. It just doesn't age well. Like mine's like there's some Instagram drawings of mine that look better than these. Anyway, so just doing a position and she's disappeared. This setting looks okay. Yeah, just seeing the top of the palace, and the clouds look fine. The trees look fine. I don't have to keep saying that. The brick road's also okay, except that there's a tangent at the top, never mind. But that's a proper grass texture, and despite a couple of weird lines, it's okay. But there's just these solid black lines everywhere. If you remember the first version of the Hootus, it's just all drawn, outlined, and then the colours filled in. That's like something that my tutors picked up upon quite easily, strangely enough, despite me not always doing that with with any of the projects in that. But they were just thought, try to go something a bit more inventive, and that's where Hooters had different coloured outlines and are more textured and very nice as a result. But yeah, so them 3 are just dancing around. By the way, we're missing Toto the dog, Mr. Dog. Never mind. But yeah, you can see a ghostly figure just repeating peeking out of the tree. And because whilst this is like mixing with the Wizard of Oz with Frankenstein, somehow, yeah, how do you get to the conclusion? I think we were just like rambling about all sorts, and then we just thought, because when we had to be quick, sometimes you have to like really think of ideas on the spot. But I think when you start collecting ideas, even random ones, you kind of start getting into it. And so to have like this weird like crossover, it's something about that which I still quite enjoy. But anyway, so it's a ghostly figure in the background. Yeah, spinning out the trees. Oh, I like that. There's another warning I've put on as well. So yeah, just flashing images warning. Yeah, which I've just highlighted. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep over it because like the way it like goes grey, it goes from, it's almost like a miniature film homage. You know how Wizard of Oz was one of the first films in colour, if not the first one, and Frankenstein was, like a black and white film. Oh, these trees have gone grey. Is that to indicate its presence? Oh, okay. Huh. Although, yeah, not to mention you can see the text brush and you can just really see the gaps in the brush in the that's not too professional. Even the way these guys are animated, I've tried to apply some movement, just it's like being stunned and the scarecrow being like, oh hey homies, I've got you all together, it's all good. I want to see what the dancing looks like. Even the design of them is oh, okay, I think I just thought something. This is also some of the same looping faces that I did with Dorothy, and I think the reason that happened is because I think the faces had to be slapped on as it was a moving asset, which is not great, but well, yeah, the lion's face isn't fit properly. It's missing a nose and whiskers, and at least the Tin Man's and the Scarecrow's face is different enough, but I don't know, the Scarecrow's face definitely had more to it. The faces are inlined okay, and although it just looks like they're sliding. Well, there's some steps, but even then, kind of look like them. It looks like they're flossing, but also like not all the arms are moving in line. Also, the lion's tail should have hair at the end as well. Why does the lion not jacked up? It looks like Jack Reacher. And the scarecrow looks like he's overstuffed some parts. My feet are massive, and you also and I don't know, the Tin Man just looks fine in comparison. Oh gosh, and the funny moment hasn't even come along yet. But anyway, regardless, where's that flicker? Oh, that looks so cool. Oh my gosh, I really like that. It reminds me of Spider-Verse, where like it collects into colours. Oh wow, the transparency in that creature. So, okay, he's my favourite character already. I think the blank face already makes it like a bit mysterious. And whilst it could be a bit more like the ghostly creature could have like a bit more motion, like a bit of a waver. I must have been that tight on time, but the way it glows, like look at that. It's actually like kind of cool. Like the drawing kind of sucks, but I like the presence of it. And oh yeah, even the surroundings slowly go like black and white as well to indicate like a darker tone. But also going from that kind of black and white, it helped transition to the following scenes because as you may have seen, it was entirely different animation approaches. And I think I've already discussed this in the animation ranking video, but because whilst it let's see, to go from 3 or 4 drastically different animation styles, like you could probably argue it's like a story going more and more like progressively getting darker over time. Maybe that's like how you do it, or how you could see it. But I think I've seen other animations where the style and that is still kept the same despite going darker over time when there's some other visual changes. And so we were given like a bit of a pass here because this wasn't a animation which was totally important. Also, I just realised, I think it's the glowing effect that's making the centre of the ghost character a bit more faded, whilst the outlines are a bit more present. Also, the scarecrow's arm looks a bit disjointed there. I know he wasn't like the most intact character physically, but come on. Anyway, I also have this weird outlines between joints as well. That's not too great either. It just goes to show that this whole parenting to try and create a character is not always good. I just feel like that 3D animation I've done, which I don't think that has been given a commentary. I'm going to quickly slap that on the end of this if I haven't. I don't think I have. Anyway, regardless. So yeah, so now we're about to go into different animation styles. So this is my animated parts done. Not to mention, as far as I can remember, I think I was the one giving all of these scenes, and then it was me who made this part, black and white. Me adding the sound effects and doing the music and some of the effects as well to help connect the scenes. That's a similar approach with the black hole film, because I was given all of the scenes then, and just come up with all sorts of adjustments in that. But anyway, so yeah, Ghost Creatures arrived, and then we called it a different animation style, and so you can see the lion's not jacked up anymore. But to do that as well, it's just it's quite amusing. That ghost character looks kind of cool. Not to mention, seeing a tree in the background and assuming that's the sky, that's already just shown that things aren't looking good. But also for the clothing set had similar, which is kind of cool, and the face is starting to form a little bit. But yeah, so yeah, the ghost just like scary them. although the lion is quite jacked. Oh, but not to mention, we were just meeting at the top of the hill, so I reckon this ghost created a down the hill. But also, by the way, I forgot your name. I like your animation. Why are you trying to go for the ghost? Not a bad idea, actually. But yeah, as you can see there, you didn't make it. Yeah, there's that top of the hill ended up leading into a ditch. I was going to watch that bit one more time, but I quite like this look. Yeah, you can see, how the eyes, like they glimmer a bit, and also, was it just that finger that was animated? It was. Oh, but there's some moving further below, and yeah, there's skies moving about, and then there's this ghost that moves in a kind of a weird way, and despite not being as much detail as the ghost here, is still there and that. And the trees, yeah, they look kind of similar to mine, despite the different approach and style. And yeah, I quite like the look of the ground. If I kept what all of this would have looked like in colour, I think that would have been nice to see. But I don't know. Maybe I should have kept like a colour copy of each one, to see what it was like at least. But to make it all black and white in that way, yeah, never mind. Because if you remember in the Black Hole film, there was like that one part which there was a scene that I actually reversed. But if you play it the other way, that's how it was animated. But those kind of changes kind of had to be made to create more of a narrative. Because I remember being given like all of these scenes, and I remember thinking, oh yes, like 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, but they organised that kind of sequence well. So I think the lion was trying to go for the ghost, but assumed that it just phased out. But also, did the lion? I like the running animation, by the way. And yeah, the background moves a little bit. Yeah, looks like it matches quite well. But it looks so angry. Also, does the okay, no, he just simply runs into the. Oh no, I think he might disappear a bit. Oh no, oh he fell. Okay. Okay, he fell, and then that's the way he's landed there. And oh, okay, so we're going back to my style actually. Okay, but also, I don't know about the ghost, but is this the ghost that's more form? Like, is this Victor himself? Later creates Dev Frankenstein, but regardless, just got rid of the scarecrow, and I think I might have done the scene for the lion as well, but I think because when he animated that, that's what I thought. Oh yeah, just the scarecrow and the thing. But yeah, just do those as well. Yeah, that would have been like a green screen effect as well. I'm kind of curious. I want to have a look again. After watching this again, and then he's down, and then yeah. Although I think the goal was just there to like emphasize more of the animation, but hay and metal, I don't think either of these creatures should have gore in them, but never mind. Also, did we see this character once? I think that was like my version of Victor, but unless like the ghost solidified be weird just if that was like just the one off. Also, the sword design, as far as I can see, is not great. Also, it's convincing enough. I'll say that. Yeah, like just yeah, like 2D assets, again separating that. Also, how to like remove the head from the body. Yeah, it's about being parented assets. Yeah, the body must just fell in that. Yeah, I'm actually sorry. I just want to watch one more time because I'm just really curious. But that was just so in line perfectly, and the way it just cuts as well, it's just extremely jarring, but in a way it's intentional. But here's the oh my gosh. So oh no. So when so it looks like I did use the lines that line animation, but in a different context. And we're actually going like back and forth between different animation styles. It's I guess like the other animated scene kind of highlights, how intentionally jarring this film is, and I guess indicating like a bit of a like a dark aspect to this film. But anyway, so it looks like the dissecting has come along. Oh my gosh, that was the that came from the Scarecrow. I feel like. Oh no, it was the tin. Okay. Oh my gosh, that is that is a accurate 2D part. That is, but yeah, that's Victor's hand. Yeah, looks like he's really like punctured a hole in this tin man. What did he use? I'm not sure. Also, does Victor have super strength to do that? Unless he used a tool earlier, who knows? Oh yeah, that was done by someone else as well. Yeah, so this is the yeah. Yeah, that's the Scarecrow's brain just collected, on the floor of the castle. So you saw some of the castle's environment, like snippets, so yeah, that I like. And then that sewn up indicates some kind of completion, and then it's also done by someone else. And yeah, like I said, you can see concept art in the background, what the character could have looked like, even as far like a creature just made out of all sorts from the Wizard of Oz. But let's have a look at this environment because it was quite interesting. So I think those are cloaks, yeah, because it's a machine. But yeah, look at these wooden planks, and yeah, I can see how there could be like an upper platform, especially with those stairs, and those might be stairs as well on the bottom right. That might be another hand sticking upwards at the bottom. But yeah, this is Scarecrow's head and that Scarecrow arm, probably like Tin Man's body. And then there's Victor himself, who looks like he's had a change of clothing. Although actually, I thought you were like a darker one. I'm not sure, like a darker cloak. But anyway, so that's him, and some zapping happens, more zapping, and then there we go, living creature, and yeah, once again you can see, just more the setting, the connected wires and the floorboards and that, and yeah, despite a couple of like odd features, I guess it looks enough like a like a Frankenstein version of the Wizard of Oz. So yeah, just a bit more. Yeah, although I tell you what, if we had this creature on the left instead, on that board, oh my gosh, that would be like way more like over the top in that. But anyway, yeah, I still quite like more. Again, the concept art is cool, but I think the sound design is just like a good balance between both. Although, quick question, why is the brain of the Scarecrow moved only for the Scarecrow's head to be stayed on anyway, unless he was just dissecting and then he was like, we'll just put it back together again. And so, yeah, there you go. That's the film. So yeah, what a wild ride. Yeah. Although, if just having a quick look, so it's just gone from my scene, then person two scene, then back to me a bit, then I did those parts, then that's person three doing those parts, and this must be person four because there's a different style here too. So yeah, it's quite back and forward. Although those other glimpses of mine, they're kind of brief at a point where you don't really notice it's or like all different, but I don't know. I think someone with a very critical eye like me, yeah, I know I made it, but I can still really like tell them apart. I still really like how all of our scenes still resulted in a narrative, like a through line in some way. It's just even if all of us had like drastically different animation styles, I think it should have like blended a bit more. But even then, this is like a whole lot of fun to not only like make, because I remember just finding this like nice and straightforward, to make, alongside the others. But yeah, because we only did like 2 meetings, maybe 3, where we were like, right, here's some of the ideas. This is what we've done so far, and then okay, this is our final film. Let's submit. And yeah, it's just a lot of rather cool moments. Because with me, I like the ghost appearing. That part's really funny, but in a good way. I still really like the line work and the detail. Like that's like a really good gothic look. And then I think I just like all of it. Like everyone's done rather cool. Like even those parts here, it's like like a mildly like gruesome gothic animation. Look at that wall and the shadows. That's like the only. Although yet again the grass looks realistic and the yellow brick road did. So just having that as an extension of the look of the film, that I quite like. And then yeah, there's that same part rather cool, and even there's a final design of Frankenstein here, and this whole setting looks kind of cool. The clogs and the whole setting, and yeah, it's just I don't think I have a favourite bit. I just like the lot. It's just yeah, extremely fun to watch in that. Yeah, imagine if we did submit that as a group project. Sorry. If it would have been like, oh, cool story, cool ideas, just match the animation better. I think that's what would have happened at one point. But once again, the film wasn't that serious. So yeah, I don't know how viewed this is because I only remember like a couple of animations being viewed more than once. If you remember, I had like a weird resurgence with my final college film. I just remember thinking, how did that gain loads of views all of a sudden? But it could be anything. Yeah, I don't know how I watch these films of mine are anyway, because I remember, when uploading them, there were. I'm just going to have a quick look through my analytics. There it is. Because they had like a good couple of views once the animation started being released, but then but yeah, I think nowadays I don't think I'm getting anything. But yeah, because even looking at my recent parts, like I know I've been releasing like a lot of shorts at this moment in time, but yeah, I don't think these animations of mine don't get viewed anymore. It's a bit of a shame, but it's just like a last moment just to provide some reference before moving on from them. They just helped with their development and that, and yeah, I think that's all I can say. Despite seeing and meeting some of these people in university like only once, yeah, they're quite good to work with. We all got on and planned well, and yeah, it showed. So yeah, that was just rather like I said, just a lot of fun in that. So yeah, I think we'll stop there for this part. But then we'll go on to one more, if not 2 more. But yeah, we'll just see how that goes. Yeah, so as I mentioned in one of the film commentaries, I mentioned that I've done this film, which is the first non-original film I've made. Yeah, this is definitely like the definition of a fan film. And oh, okay, there goes a disclaimer. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think that the explanation still holds up. Yeah, because I remember thinking, and I've also joked about this in the commentary as well, where I was like, I could do like more of these, but no, it's just extremely time consuming to make, and it was like fun and part. Oh yeah, by the way, it's the old Facebook page which has the version with audio. Yeah, because this doesn't work as well with the sound effects without the sound effects. All right, so yeah, this is just like a very short story. Um, yeah, it's something they can definitely see David doing. Oh yeah, by the way, you can see the numbers on the frames there, which is not too professional. And the way he's translated is mixed. I would say that's meant to be a road in the background, pavement, then road parts. But yeah, all of this is just getting looped, and then he looks around. That's like a rain effect as well. It's okay. Yeah, I like the addition of the rain. But yeah, I don't like, despite how low, like the lowest budget animation I've made. It's just something you can definitely see David doing. To continue with the crime fighting. Then just continue looking around. There was a weird moment. It's because I think a hand was like misdrawn. I think that's why there's that weird part there. Yeah, it's just because drawn on top of each frame, and if the ways walking isn't great. No, that's why I'm glad I've already stopped this. But yeah, some buildings on the left, and this guy's about to pass, and then David quickly. He's lost some of the colour in his cap at one point, but never mind. Then yeah, that's his crime earlier. And then I swear that guy was wearing glasses earlier. Never mind. But anyway, David's got hold of him. Quickly throws against the wall, and oh yeah, I kind of like this shot. By the way, the road disappears, which is not professional, and yeah, the road looks weird. It looks like Mario Kart 8, and they're upside down. But yeah, I actually quite like this shot because it can see that the hood is probably enough to hide David's identity. But anyway, despite clumsily, that's just doesn't look great. Let's just have a look. So yeah, like really stretches out because it's weird because like the frames connect, but it just doesn't look natural. But anyway, so he grabs the gun just casually, and then I really like this part. Oh, just imagine if David himself did that. That was just so cool. I think I might make a homage to that in the in my in my um in my I forgot the word. Rebooted animations. That's it. Yeah, I think just like a not only homage to this, but also like other moments as well. Maybe connect those other films, but we'll wait and see. Yeah, I just want to see the parts again. Even the texture of the poncho, it's okay. Also, the gun goes from just being outlined to them, being coloured in. But oh my god, yeah, this is where the sound effects make that so much better. Yeah, it's just so cool. And then he has his fist ready. The guy's like scared, and then that punch. There's moments I like actually. What does this punch look like? The hand doesn't look great. It looks like the thumb has an extra joint, so he's scared, and the arm was too low. And what does that final part look like? I was trying to get the specific frame. There was a bit of an overlap. Yeah, a bit of an overlap, but never mind. That hand looks weird. Oh no, I'm going to give it David 6 fingers. Oh gosh, no. But he could say, "Oh, it's quick. It doesn't matter," but still. Anyway, so he just got hit, and he just landed on his legs, and then that happened, and then you can see some sirens going on in the background, and that's where David just like, it's weird that he's showing his face now, but I suppose it doesn't matter because, the guy's been caught, and I don't know, because imagine if that guy was like, oh, this guy's attacked me. You can see that he's crushed my gun and given me a black eye, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think the police would have been like very interested to find out who also like stopped him because I never really seen that on TV before. Like whether a vigilante gets in the way and he'd like go about and the police might find them. Like I don't know, like what's the views on vigilantes in our world. But also you can see like there's just circles that glowed up a bit, and I like the continuation of the flashing. It's kind of cool. But anyway, that's the end of the film cut, and so yeah. Oh yeah, you can see some overlap in there as well. That doesn't work, but as David's trying to step back, But yeah, looking at this, yeah, it's only a small part that makes this film, just from here to here, pretty much. So this looping is okay. Yeah, it's just crushing the gun. It's just fantastic. I remember putting it on the show reel once, and it was kind of cool. But yeah, just like I said, rough animation. It's a little project. It is cool, and with all of it being done by my hand, it has like a roughness and a authenticity to it, which is kind of cool. Also, that gun's not angled right. It looks like he's about to shoot a um oh, what are they called? A borrower. Yeah, you know you know yeah, they're based on the book. Yeah, the borrowers. Is it the borrowers? Like Christopher Eccleston plays one of the characters in the film adaptation, in a modern one anyway. I'll pay you shoot the borrower. Well, dude, that was the scene. Oh, overlapping once again, but not great. Also, the gun positioning changed. Maybe he turned it over in between, you know, when he turned it like 180 degrees. I could see that happening if his phone was more closer to the trigger. So yeah, that's just so cool. So anyway, yeah, it's a film that yeah, you could just tell it's like a little passion project of some sort, and yeah, it just has like a couple of like cool glimpses, but it's just not very in frame, not very natural. Doesn't have like a lot of weight to it other than the gun being crushed. I feel that, but nothing much else. Although this punch, I feel like the guy should have been thrown back and then hit on the floor, because that's how physics work. But never mind. Oh, you can see the top. Yeah, 114 frames, just about more than that. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna double check if that last film has been done or not. Actually, no, I'm just gonna have a look now. I don't think I have. And when looking at the ranking video, yeah, because I've done that, done these two, done that. Okay, yeah, so just one more, one more animation after this, straight after this, in fact. So yeah, do stick around. But anyway, you kind of get the gist of this film. You know, it's probably the smallest one, and it's kind of cool to do paper. And I've just done a number of instances before, but you know, it's not my future. The 8-bit stuff is, and yeah, if creating more of these films, maybe I once thought of what they made it to the tower, and then it was animated that way. Imagine trying to animate the beast as well. Like cool in theory for another fight between these two, but as you saw here, it's just extremely limited, and I don't think I have the time nor the skill to perform something like this again. It's like a really cool one-off. So yeah, but I don't know. Like, you know, Aodai, you know, to do a crossover animation, that was like really bold of me to do, and yeah, like to cross over all of that together. I don't know, it's just that the ambition and the time I had and all of the bits I knew how to use the softwares and that. Yeah, it's just that it's just paid off so much better compared to this. But yeah, regardless, yeah, I'll shut up there for this one. And yeah, let's just talk about the last animation, or the last official animation, I would say, before moving on to the ranking video, which is next. But anyway, come on, let's just go. Alright, so this is the official last animation I'll be covering commentary-wise, and whilst the ranking video, it will probably repeat a good amount of bits and bobs, but I'll be nice and brief, and I think it'll be more so why I prefer certain animations above others. But regardless, this is the last one to cover. I don't recommend this one as a proper official one, despite how short it is. But as a bit of context, there was a version of Haphazard Legion that looked like this, and yeah, it was like this one, because yeah, Zionthor, as you can see from the Haphazard material, the future stuff looks more like Zionthor, but then was just like a dark green human with armor. And look at this. This is some of the best figure creation I've done. You know, the way all of these parts, all of the Also, yeah, I think one thing I will say is that I like to draw an Also, by the way, something I just realised it sounded like a machine, but no, he's not. It's a robot. Yeah, I remember doing this version without like the drawing. Then I was like, where was this guy's head? And I was like, that's his face. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, they're both quite well considering the drawings I had, especially when you look at the Instagram. But definitely the day better design. And they got kind of lost in the especially when I got him. It was just far more interesting in the design. Yeah, just imagination featuring even they got drawn like from time to time as well, despite being all 3D. Reflects the arms too. But yeah, I think that would be quite cool to go more into. But yeah, this was just like that all of these parented features of the assets are just moving. You know, they're not going out of whack, they're not stretching or going wide. But anyway, just do a proper breakdown. Yeah, it's nothing deep. Like I said, this was just a weird person project, and yeah, I think it was just something I just wanted to experiment on, really. And yeah, and it's also just a duel. So yeah, let's see how this animation holds up. Like the settings sucks, but never mind. And yeah, so he just grabs the sword, almost. And then he throws himself as well. And then they speed boost towards each other. There's a tiny clang there. That block on the corner is set up ahead of time. And then, so it looks like Atar disarmed the mace like that. And then, oh, I think that must have been like a mid-shot with Zionthor just immediately disarming the sword. Oh yeah, because if you see there, it looks like the sword like nearly got to his shoulder. Oh yeah, they look a bit too separate in that angle there, you know, the arm part, but never mind. And also his face is a bit too high, but never mind. So Zionthor just simply moves his arm up, and you know, disarming the sword. They're both armed with weapons. So I'll say big punch that makes him go left, and he looks a bit stiff, and his body looks a bit. You can see that the pulse area is not quite in line either, but never mind. So Atar tries to punch him back, and despite a reaction, it doesn't do much. But yeah, there's already like too many of these animated parts. Like if it's just like the impact drawings, it would be far better. But instead, I just did these weird swinging parts, and these yellow lines, for instance. Yeah, they don't look too good. But Zionthor goes for number one, and yep. Proper back, and then the sword comes up telekinetically, as evident by the drawing, and then Zionthor immediately wipes the sword away, and then we can see that the weapon is moving too, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, Zionthor just grabbed hold of him and swung him around, and I think the weapon is about to come back to Zionthor, I think, but the sword is also come back to Atar as well, so they both are with their weapons. And so I think Zionthor is probably controlling this telekinetically. Oh, he might have tried to throw it, only for Atar to like disarm it like that, yeah. And then that's Zionthor's doing, yeah, with the darker colours, and then just cube zooms and it whacks into Atar. There's a bit of a phasing, as you can see here, but never mind. So without his sword again, the sword falls. Is flowing back, and how many animated elements? It's like Zionthor moving back as well as the cube. Oh my god, yeah, that's too many drawings. That's like the biggest pet peeve. So Atar tries again, throws again the sword, but it looks like he's holding it from the blade, but never mind. So throws it forward. Zionthor jumps on the cube, and then quickly he gets his weapon up rather quickly. And then how many drawn elements? So that's hit the weapon, and Zionthor's clearly got the block, well, landed on it and then got off, and then he pushes the cube aside and hit his feet, but Atar just manages to catch it, and that's a decent amount. Is it? Oh, those are lines. I wonder what's going on then. So yeah, it's too many drawn elements. Anyway, so he goes to pick it up, not quite interactive properly, but never mind. So, was this parented with Atar? It could be, unless it was just well animated. But anyway, so that's picked up and thrown. Oh, you can see the sword coming back to him as well. I was just standing there, so it gets completely flattened, and then I think he fades through the ground a bit. Never mind. But regardless, he just punches the cube up, and then how did he? Oh wow, he just got himself forward. Yeah, these are like telekinetic beings. So Atar moves again, and then Zionthor does this funny thing where it's like, yeah, I can fight with one hand behind my back. But anyway, so he swings the weapon that way, wanding, then the weapon is flipped. And yeah, I think Atar does generally look like he's trying to hit him. Actually, no, I think, maybe he was just trying to, he's trying to step back, clings the sword, and then it tries to go for a whack, and then tries again. That arm movement's okay. Oh, it's a bit phasing, but never mind. So yeah, Zionthor just missed it. That's probably another probably got his arm actually. And that's probably side, and that's meant to be a sword in either hand. Therefore, get something again, and then these are the final parts. But I think it looks like he took the weapon up then. Here for a kick, and sadly, no more of that. And this animation is like so much like potential, and yeah, the only thing we can see is phasing, some of the too many drawing lines, the settings are very good, the key movement very exciting either. And also, look at the colours of this weapon. I think this was a version of Zionthor that had all of the colours of each element, put together. And so yeah, I think yeah, because if looking back at the elements, yeah, like Falza and Life and Ice and was Orange Fire? Oh, that green might be Hermota. So yeah, this was quite early. Yeah, so yeah, the elements were made up in this weapon, and whilst you have seen this weapon design carry over in both like the storybook and even the 8-bit animations, because I still quite like the design or the idea of the weapon, blunt on one side and pointy on the other, I could say. But yeah, this just right away. It's a bit weirdly slow when it gets quick. I remember showing this to different clients of the kind, and my feedback was, yeah, the face animating isn't very tight, although it's also very stylish. From time to time, so there's definitely some kind of activity to see what's happening. But yeah, like it was definitely and some skill. Also, what was that weird part in the corner? That's Atar's sword flying. Can you see on the top right? You can see the handle. What's it doing up there? I'm not sure. Yeah, just definitely one of the best experimental animations made. And like I said, a bit more so no one has to but anyway, I think the 8-bit stuff, is just potential thing, I suppose. And it's, I guess it's also easy to animate, but also just looking at with some of the parts looking a bit stiff. I don't know, I'm just wondering like I said, the shapes keep stretching as you try to make them like they stretch on their own. So yeah, it's trying to stay out here, but not so much with just got bulky base here and it's just folded elsewhere. If I didn't do something like that, I think the animation would be higher response to draw 2D from scratch. There's so many cool moments. I kind of like this part, the bit right here. just a quick blending, and it kind of helps the personality between them both, but even then. But yeah, just really good to see as well. I think with all of these drawing elements, I made the drawing elements not mixing too heavily with the simple assets. I just saw Zionthor just like stand still for a second, never mind. But yeah, that's yeah, we'll keep looping the film as I conclude. Because I pretty much concluded this, kind of get the gist of that one. Gosh, I can't believe how natural most of this looks like. I think that's like really better compared to, what that 3D animation looked like, with the rig. It's better than the rig I interacted with. And it's not even a rig, it's just loads of coded features. Anyway, regardless, I've done the quick film as well, so that's it. So that is commentary. So yeah, I'll see the ranking video next, how I view all of them, despite the video being maybe it's not outdated, maybe this one gone up higher, and that poem one I've done, so also could go higher as well. I don't know, like even with the boss one, maybe it could have been higher as well. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I think I'll probably still stick by how I rank. But yeah, just feel just to just like seeing how I've progressed, what I've experimented with, and where I'm at now. And despite the style, I'll definitely be like trying to, because I can always put 2D and 8-bit together, even with these drawing lines. I think I can put my dynamic in the same way, or maybe put a bit of assets in the environments. That's imagine that. Anyway, there's loads of ideas I can think of. Yeah, this is definitely one of these where it's the style that's come along, which I've done with it, and I've also would have liked to yeah, it's just that when looking at parts of like that 2D mix and the most some parts of 3D animation, I've done that loads of times, but when this makes it even like how that stands out in its yeah, so I'm not really repeating that potential. I'll definitely be good for everything I've learned over to 8-bit new animations in one way or another. Also, as I'm doing this, there is there's not. But anyway, let's we'll just stop right there. Just thanks for watching. If you end up watching a lot, then hats to you. Because I don't expect you to sit down and watch all of these. Because I think some videos could just be nice just to listen to. Because sometimes I just like listening to things as I do things. So I think that's like one good way to interact with these videos, especially with some of them being quite lengthy as well. But yeah, that was the lot, and yeah, let's just stop right there, shall we? But yeah, I'll see you next time.